Hello, my name is John Burris, and I have some very exciting and important information to share with you today. Today's video is called Health or Fitness. I know you may not have heard that correctly. Health or fitness. In today's video, I'm going to describe to you what each one of these is, health and what is fitness, and how actually they're completely different concepts that will occasionally merge. Yet we're taught to believe they're one and the same. I mean, I was raised to believe if I just became fit, that I'd be healthy. And I find it over my years as in the health industry that fit people aren't necessarily the healthiest. And so what we're going to do today is take a deep dive into what is health and what is fitness and show you how they merge and maybe give you a new life plan. And maybe the plan you're using isn't working and you're not waking up to the fact it's not working. So for the last few decades, I was a gym rat. I grew up in the gym world. I worked out, I lifted weights, I did my cardio, and it never healed my body of all my injuries from sports and crashes and just living life. And I kept wondering, what's wrong here? I keep being told by the medical industry, by the physical therapists, the kinesiologists, the trainers, just keep working out harder and you'll cure your back pain and you'll cure your sciatica and cure your knee pain. It never worked. So I had to ask different questions. And so what I find is that health and fitness are two completely different categories, and we've merged them together. And they shouldn't be merged together. They're separate. So we'll be exploring that today. And my hope today is that you come away with a deeper understanding what health really is and how fitness might be one of your tools in your toolbox of health. But I don't believe it should be the primary tool. And there should be better things that you should be doing. You know, it's been this seduction for the last couple decades by the media, by government policies, by medical doctors, the medical establishment, by fitness trainers to just work out more, you'll get healthy. And it's a lie. It's a complete lie. As a body worker for 40 years now, as a yoga teacher for over 35 years, the healthiest people I see are not the fittest. The fittest people sometimes have the worst bodies that I can ever imagine. The sports athletes, for example, athletes don't age very well at all. They've got all kinds of problems with surgeries and pain medications and knee replacements and hip replacements. So we believe that if we just get fit, we'll be healthy. Well, it's a lie. We've been told a lie. So I'm here to set the record straight. Health and fitness are completely different topics and will occasionally merge together. And all the entities and industries that are surrounded are telling you a lie. They're completely different entities. So in order to move forward, we need to have a working definition that we all can agree on what is health and what is fitness. So in my experience, being in the fitness world for many years, fitness is two things. One is cosmetic changes. I want to look good in my body just so I can look good at the beach in my bathing suit. And two, for sports performance. I am the starting guard on the professional football team. I need to do squats to build leg strength so that I can push people around. Or I'm a basketball player. I need to build up my strength and my cardio so I can run faster down the court and jump higher. That's what fitness is either training your body for performance or cosmetic conditioning so you look good in your clothing. What health is, in my experience, is I call the rivers of health, the 13 rivers of health. How well is your body functioning? How are your organs and your glands functioning? Are you pain-free? How's your liver doing? How's your gallbladder doing? How's your lymphatic system doing? How are the 13 rivers of flow in your life doing in your body? And many times fit people have clogged up lymph, clogged up hearts, clogged up gallbladders. So health to me is how well is the body functioning? In my experience, here's how I would chart health and fitness. They're completely different experiences, yet you'll see the 15% or so in the middle. That's where they merge together, where a fitness practice might actually be a health practice. So yes, they do merge at times, yet they are completely separate entities and should be considered separate. And yes, there are times when fitness will create a healthier body, and actually when your health experience will also create a fitter body. So they do cross over, and that's that 15% or so in the middle. This is my definition of health, the proper functioning of the body. Has to do with the function of all the organs and glands and all the systems. In my experience, what fitness is twofold. It's for cosmetic changes in your body and to enhance your performance, like in a sports performance. So that's the two things that I see as being part of the fitness model. In this video, I will take you into three sections. First, what is health? Then what is fitness? And then we'll go into the merge where the 15% where they merge together and they affect each other. So first, what is health? The proper functioning of the body. You know, there's about 80 organs in the body. That includes your organs and glands. For example, the liver itself has over 500 different functions. How well is your liver functioning? And here's the crazy thing. You might see on somebody's death certificate that they died of liver failure. Well, the liver didn't fail. That's crazy. That's just a lazy way to diagnose the body. What usually happens is the liver gets clogged up through alcohol, through pharmaceutical drugs, through the lymphatic system's clogged up, through all kinds of toxins. The liver's a filter. And if the liver gets clogged up, it dies. And so they put on your death certificate, death by liver failure. Your liver didn't fail. It means you didn't take care of your health. You didn't take care of your flow through the body. For example, the number one surgery in America is gallbladder surgery, where surgeons routinely take out somebody's gallbladder, usually women. And it gets clogged up with stones that come from the liver, and they call gallstones or liver stones. Well, for $5 or so, you could flush out your gallbladder and never have to have your gallbladder removed, but that's not what we do. So gallbladders get clogged up, your kidneys get clogged up, your flow gets clogged up. So in my experience, your organs, your glands need to be flushed out and so you have flow, and that's health. When all the rivers of your body are flowing, you're having optimal health in your body. And when they start clogging up, you're going to have all kinds of issues, and they give them a name, like you said, gallbladder disease or liver disease or toxic liver syndrome or fatty liver. It's because your systems are not flowing. So in my experience, here's the 13 rivers of flow that create optimal health in the body. First of all, the cardiovascular system. The lymphatic system, number 2, the respiratory system, number 3, number 4, the digestive system. Number 5 is urinary system. Number 6, reproductive system. Number 7, your skin, which is called the integument system. Number 8, endocrine system, which are your glands. Number 9, nervous system. Number 10, your musculoskeletal system. Number 11, your craniosacral system. Number 12, your body electric system, which is your fascia. And number 13, your emotional system. That's the 13 rivers of flow that need to keep flowing for optimal health. So let's take this 13 rivers of health a little deeper here. First, your cardiovascular system. That's your heart, your veins, your arteries. When that clogs up, you're going to have problems. You can have stroke. You can have all kinds of health problems. Sluggish heart, you could have a heart issue. So you want your cardiovascular system to flow well. And that includes how the heart's working, because that's the main pump. We're a pressurized system, not a gravity system. So your heart's got to work well. Number 2 is your lymphatic system. That's the sewage system of the body. It brings junk back to the heart and flushes it out through the liver and whatnot. So you've got to get your lymphatic system cleared out. Ways to do that: sweats and saunas and all kinds of herbs and other things to flush out the body. You can do a fast or you can do a cleanse, and that will flush out some of the lymphatic drainage junk. So you've got to keep your lymphatic system moving or else it clogs up. Your respiratory system, that's your breathing, how you bring fresh oxygen in the breath into the lungs and whatnot. Most people don't know how to breathe. They breathe ineffectively. When you can't use your diaphragm to breathe, you're causing all kinds of problems. In the yoga world, we teach people how to breathe. Most people, especially in Western cultures, don't know how to breathe, so they don't get a lot of fresh oxygen in. They're actually shallow breathers, which causes all kinds of health issues. So you've got to get your respiratory system to move oxygen efficiently. Number 4 is your digestive system. That's, how you take in nutrients and how you eliminate nutrients. So a lot of people are just clogged up. They may be taking in the best food and the best vitamins, but they can't eliminate toxins, so they're being toxically backed up. So you've got to keep your digestive system flowing like a river. Number 5 is a urinary system. You got to keep drinking and hydrating to keep flushing out your kidneys of toxins that will build up over time. And it doesn't matter how big your chest muscles are or how big your biceps are. If your kidneys are backed up, you're going to have all kinds of health issues. Number 6 is your reproductive system. That's how we reproduce, our sexuality. You got to keep flow going. In men, when your prostate backs up, it starts having issues. You got to keep the energy and the flow going in your sexuality juices. Number 7 is your skin. The skin, I know it sounds crazy. It's like a glacier. The dead cells are on the outside and the living cells are on the inside. And the skin has to be healthy by movement of flow to the outside where the dead cells flush off. So there's a lot of energy and flow in the skin of the body, and it needs to keep moving. Your endocrine system is your glands. We don't think about it much, but your glands, your pituitary, when your pituitary stops working and you have diabetes, not your pituitary, your pancreas. You have diabetes, your pituitary is in your brain. It stops working, you can't think straight. So you got to keep the flow of nutrients and blood flow into these organs to keep them moving, to keep healthy. Your nervous system, that's the nerves that keep us going. What happens a lot of times, like in multiple sclerosis, the nerves aren't working and they're being compromised. So in my experience, the fascia surrounding the nerves is causing an impediment in the nerve itself, and that's causing lack of flow in the nerve itself. So if you help keep your fascia open, it will help your nerves flow better. Number 10 is the musculoskeletal system. You got to keep your muscles moving. If they don't move, they atrophy. They basically die. You've got to keep those muscles active and moving. Number 11 is the craniosacral system. That's the fluid flow from your brain all the way to your tailbone. Deep inside, it's a magical system of energy and flow of craniosacral fluid that's really important, and we basically don't give it much attention. You've got to keep your craniosacral system flowing. One way to do that is the yoga or craniosacral body work helps in that regard. Number 12 is your body electric system. This is the fascia in the body, and I'm a fascia body worker and a yoga enthusiast. Fascia carries the chi of the body. That's the battery of the body, the life force energy. When your fascia hardens and dries out, it dies, and you lose life force. Your battery dies because you have no body electricity going on. It's a Western way to say it is you have no juice, so you have no flow in your body. Your body is hardening and drying out, and the battery is dying as well. So you've got to keep your fascia healthy for the chi to flow. And number 13 is the emotional system. You got to keep your emotions flowing. A lot of times when we get backed up, we hold on to our anger, we hold on to our grief, we hold on to our fear. Ends up in our organs. People have stomach issues, back issues, heart issues because they're not releasing their emotions in a healthy way. Not by dumping on somebody or attacking somebody, by releasing your emotions in a healthy way. And sometimes it's better for people to go back to bed and cry when they're stressed than go to the gym and work out, because that was going to create more stress. So we have to keep our emotions flowing. So that's the 13 rivers of health, of how I define health, how the physical, emotional, spiritual body all come together to create health. It's about flow. And here's another thing about the health issue. We go into the doctor and we take a blood test and we have numbers come back and we go, oh, you've got high cholesterol, you've got this or that. And numbers are important, but numbers do lie. The people who live the longest might have high cholesterol. The people who die the youngest might have a resting heart rate of 25 beats per minute because they're doing all their cardio. So just because your number says one thing doesn't mean it's true, because I've seen people who were professional athletes at 27 years old die of heart attacks, even though their heart rate was very low. I've seen people live in their 90s and 100s with high cholesterol. So numbers can be important, but they can also lie to you. So be careful when you just look at a number. So let's go ahead and take on fitness now. I was a fitness addict for many years. I would go to the gym 5-6 days a week, hours at a time. I'd go on a 100-mile bike ride or a 25-mile hike, or I'd go backpacking to the Grand Canyon. I was very fit, yet I was also broken from sports and injuries. I had back pain, sciatica, knee pain, ankle pain, shin pain, pinched nerves in my neck. I had it all. And I tried the fitness routine and it made my body worse. I was told by the doctors, the kinesiologists, the physical trainers, if you just worked out more, all your problems would go away. If you just did more core work, your back problems would go away. That didn't work. If you would just do more hip strengthening work, your sciatica would go away. That didn't work. If you just build more muscle around your painful knee with squats in the gym or bicycling or swimming, that would take care of your knee pain, and none of it worked because it was a false analogy what was going on in my body. I'll talk about that. It was wrong, and this is what I see most people do. They're using fitness to try to heal their body, and that's a wrong concept, and we've been taken in the wrong direction by the wrong people. So once again, we're taught to believe that the fittest people get the best mates, make the most money, get the best jobs, or the sexiest, are the ones who get on the magazine covers, and that's true. But we've basically declared fat as an enemy. But it doesn't mean the fit people are very healthy. So when you go to the gym and work out, doesn't mean you're healthy. It means you're fit. And that's the distinction we need to make, is they're really different. And once again, in a while, we'll take over where the fitness and health come together. And that is important, but it's really a different world to be in. Fitness and health are completely different. So two of the main components of fitness are either cardiovascular fitness, training your heart, or strength training, making your body strong and muscle building. And I believe most of them are misleading us into their benefits, and I'll talk about that. But so here are some of the benefits of fitness, for example. So when I used to go to the gym, when I lifted weights and whatnot, I felt powerful. I felt a sense of self-esteem. I liked being in my body. I was hard, I was tight. I walked around with confidence. People looked at me, looked at my biceps, my chest. I got attention. That felt great. And I don't think anything wrong with that. It's also good for weight control. If you have a lot of weight, you're obese or need to shape up because your weight is causing a health issue, then fitness is a great idea. Get in the gym, go do cardio, do the weight training, hire a trainer. So that's when it might be very helpful to maintain your weight. So it also, fitness helps you in life events. So it helps you walk upstairs and go for a hike. You want to go on a paddleboard out in the ocean or a kayak. Being fit helps all those other life activities. Neighbor calls you over to help lift some boxes to the refrigerator. Hey, I work out, I'm strong, I can go help you out. I'm fit, I'm strong, I can do that. So fitness has a lot of very important things that in our culture are important. So it's not completely useless. There are some important things that fitness does. And I'm not necessarily saying that we should completely avoid fitness. I'm just trying to look at it as maybe we need to take a deeper dive into what it's actually doing. So let's take the first myth, for example, a hard body is a healthy body. Well, this isn't true at all. As a body worker for 40 years, the people who come in who are gym rats and athletes, they're the worst bodies I work on. They have the most injuries. Their tissues are like beef jerky. They're hard, they're tight, they're rubbery. I mean, if you look at most athletes, they don't age very well at all. Their bodies are worn down. They're the ones with the hip replacements, the knee replacements, all the different surgeries. I did an informal survey, and I just looked at, for example, many of the media personalities who are former athletes or whatnot, and most of them have weight gain, and they've had hip replacements and back surgeries and knee replacements. So a hard body isn't necessarily a healthy body. And the whole sport fitness model that I was taught to believe, if I just played sport and got fit, I'd be healthy, it never worked. I had to avoid fitness in order to heal my body. And here's what I did. I started doing yoga, getting many massages, fascia body work. I started doing functional movement like Feldenkrais to repair a lot of areas. I did a lot of essential oils, a lot of herbs, and I'm completely pain-free at 65. But for the first part of my life, I was bedridden by pain and back pain, sciatica. I would crawl into emergency rooms looking for pills because I was taught to believe if I just got hard in my body, the doctors would say, go to the gym and work out more and it'll take care of all your pain. It doesn't work. It's a lie. We've been lied to, and people keep following the lie. The thing is, when you harden your body, you lose flexibility, which is not good. A hard body also breaks much easier. So you see a lot of athletes who are injured all the time because they're breaking things. Their hamstrings break, their Achilles tendon snaps. For baseball pitchers, it's alarming how many baseball pitchers in the professional leagues are hurt with arm issues or back issues because they're hard and they're frozen, they're tight, and a hard body will break where a soft body, like a yoga body, doesn't break so quickly. It bends. And it's just a whole different tissue in the body. So when you do nothing but strength training, you harden and you glue together, and your fascia, which is the wrapping around the muscles, will dry out and fuse together like beef jerky. So what I find is all the athletes that I work with, they're hard, tight, and dried out. And over time, that wears you down, wears your joints down, they're misaligned, but they keep going back to the gym to get their fix because that's what they're told to do. I need to harden my body in order to heal. That's wrong. That's a lie that's been told to us over and over again, and that's completely wrong. And I changed directions, and I healed my body, and so can you. So we have this perception that if I just bench press more, I'll be healthy. I'll measure my health by how much I can shoulder press or how many push-ups I can do, how many pull-ups I can do. It's quackery. It's quackery. That doesn't measure health at all. It's an ego-based system of numbers. Numbers do lie. Your bench press doesn't determine how healthy you are, but we're taught to believe that. So I see over and over again in these media things that go on that says, oh, a 75-year-old woman's running a marathon. Yet look at her body. Her knees are worn out. Her hips are worn out. She probably takes multiple medications just to get out of bed. Her fascia is dried out and glued, but the media says, wow, look at her, how healthy she is. I'm saying she's not healthy at all. She's probably fit, but her health is very bad. Or I'll see somebody, an 80-year-old guy's in a weightlifting contest, and look at how much he can lift. And I look at his body and I say, wow, is he in bad shape? Look, his shoulders are rolled forward, his fascia is glued and tight. So the way we measure health in the media is absurd. We're measuring health in a quackery form. Those are not healthy people. So I also did an informal surgery of former bodybuilders, track athletes, boxers, celebrity fitness exercise video makers, legendary surfers, celebrity athletes, people on TV, and just looked at all their surgeries, all their physical body issues, all the things that are ailing them today, and going, wow, I see legendary surfers going around teaching fitness classes who have had hip replacements. I see all the back surgeries and knee surgeries and hip replacements, and all the bodybuilders going, wow, does that work at all? And so I look at this, in my opinion, formal survey and go, I'm pain-free, but I'm not doing what they're doing, and they keep doing the same thing, and their bodies are collapsing. Who's wrong here? So the second part of the fitness training thing is the heart. We've been taught to believe that we need to work our hearts, we need to train our hearts, we need to condition our hearts. In my opinion, we turn the heart into a weapon for war. The more we can train the heart, the more we can compete and conquer. And as I know it as a body worker, the heart is an organ of sensation and emotion. And we've stored all this anger and fear in our hearts, and we're killing our hearts. You know that in today's world in America, heart disease and heart attacks have surpassed cancer as the #1 killer in America? We're not treating our hearts well because we think we have to train the heart. I believe that's a wrong idea. Trained hearts are not necessarily healthy hearts, and I'll show you a lot of information why that is. One of my first awarenesses came when I picked up a book from Peg Jordan, who wrote The Fitness Instinct, and she was an emergency room nurse. And my experience as an EMT working in emergency rooms confirmed this. She says she was alarmed as a fitness enthusiast to see all the young, fit men being wheeled in with heart attacks and heart disease. And that shocked her because it wasn't supposed to happen after we went into this cardio rage. So she said, wow, there was something going on here. And I experienced the same thing. I started seeing all the people, the marathon runners who are having heart attacks, the 10K people, the weekend warriors, the people who, track athletes dying of heart attacks. I just recently heard about a 28-year-old marathon runner, world famous marathon runner, died of a heart attack a week ago. It's not supposed to happen if you practice cardio, we were told, and it happens every day. So what's wrong here? So another great resource I found was from Donna Farhi, the breathing book, and she shared with her audience how if you do a lot of core work, you might have heart issues. So she, for example, quoted some studies of men who had previously had heart attacks, and they found they only breathed from their upper chest because their diaphragm was too tight. And breathing from the upper chest caused too much stress, and it caused heart attacks. So let me show you the model on that. This is the human anatomy model. Your diaphragm is right here. It's a large flat muscle. It's attached to the fascia network to the heart. When you breathe correctly, like we teach in yoga, your diaphragm moves down on the inhale and back up on the exhale. And as it does that, it pulls the heart down on the inhale and back up on the exhale, and it gives the heart a massage. So when your abdomen is relaxed and your diaphragm works correctly and you're breathing properly, your heart's getting a stretch and massage every time you breathe. That only happens when you have a healthy diaphragm and not too tight of a core. Here's the problem, though, what most people do. So here's my model here. Here's the diaphragm in yellow. Here's the heart. They're connected here. Here's the lungs. When you breathe, the diaphragm pulls down and it stretches the lungs. So lungs get air. So your lungs are stretching when your diaphragm breathes down. And also what happens is the heart's pulled along for the stretch. So when you breathe correctly through your diaphragm, your heart gets a stretch because your diaphragm and your heart are moving together, and that makes your heart healthy. But what happens when you put all this abdominal wall core work in here, where you tighten your core? Guess what? Your diaphragm doesn't move. Your diaphragm doesn't move. It's frozen. You can't breathe through your diaphragm now because you've done all that core work. So now you have to breathe from the upper chest, which is the breath of stress. So the studies indicate that many people having heart attacks are having heart attacks because their core is too tight, their diaphragm isn't moving, and they have to breathe from their upper chest, which is the breath of stress, and their heart doesn't get that healthy massage every time they breathe. So that's where I'm indicating, quite possibly, could gym workouts like fitness training and core workouts actually be leading to heart attacks? Well, I have a great video on it, a couple of them, the core myth and the myth of strength training. If you want to watch those, I'll give you more in-depth analysis of this. So possibility, according to the studies, that people are having heart attacks because their diaphragm is too tight and their core is too tight and they're having to breathe from the upper chest. Something to think about, I imagine. And here's another interesting thing about breath and heart and cardio is, you know, when we're in a cardio workout, what we're trying to do, we're trying to get our heart rate up, and we're trying to basically, you create this effect, basically the runner's high. And what's a runner's high? You know what the runner's high is? It's a stress response. So when you're in a stress response after 20 minutes of running or doing your aerobic class or your spinning class, you have cortisol and adrenaline pumping into your body and circulatory system, making you numb. That's the stress response. So what happens over time, you do your run every day, 5 miles, you get this massive dose of cortisol and adrenaline in your body. You could be creating cortisol and adrenaline toxicity, which one of the things it does, it hardens your arteries. So you're taking a fitness routine, creating a stress response, creating more adrenaline and cortisol to flood in your system that in the long run could be hardening your arteries. So it's kind of a circular effect there. Is it really working? So here's the other thing that come along in is this. How did we come to this idea that we needed to train our hearts? Well, sadly, one person could change the world either for the better or for the worse. So in my experience, that one person was Dr. Kenneth Cooper. In 1968, a NASA scientist, medical doctor named Dr. Kenneth Cooper wrote a book called Aerobics. And he convinced us this mandate we had to go out and train our hearts or we're going to die of heart attacks and heart disease. And so we all jumped on board. We had runners and tennis and racquetball and fitness training and boot camps and marathons and triathlons because we all believed in what Dr. Kenneth Cooper told us. It was like the magic vitamin. If we just trained our hearts, we were going to live forever or a lot longer than possible. Is it true? I don't believe so. I believe Dr. Kenneth Cooper was completely wrong. And this one man took us in the wrong direction, and here's why. I was alarmed to find in Fit magazine, April 2000, a quote from Dr. Kenneth Cooper as he's being interviewed. And the interviewer asked him, does it work after 30, 35 years or so of cardiovascular fitness training? And here's what Dr. Cooper said, quote, it should be noted that the godfather of aerobics, Dr. Kenneth Cooper, has changed his mind about running. Quote from Dr. Cooper, what made me change my mind was telephone calls from distraught widows whose husbands had followed my guidelines and had died of heart attacks, says Dr. Cooper. I now recommend walking at any speed for 30 minutes, 3 times a week. I used to think that to be exercising aerobically, you had to be in your target heart rate or you were wasting your time, unquote. So this is astonishing. Dr. Kenneth Cooper, who started the whole aerobics myth, saying we had to do aerobics to save our heart, in Fit magazine 2000 said it doesn't work. He doesn't recommend it. So what happened? Why didn't the media pick up on this and say, well, people, well, guess how money works? Guess how things are buried in the media? What would happen if the media picked up on this? Think of how many people who would have lost their jobs, how many gyms would have closed and whatnot. If people realize they're wasting their time or maybe even causing harm to their heart. If Dr. Cooper, the man who started the aerobics story in 2000, says it doesn't work, why are we still doing it? Well, that's the same question I asked today. Why are you still doing it if it doesn't work? So here's what I found in my quiet survey. If cardiovascular fitness worked, and it did save us from heart attacks, why is it in America the number one time that people have heart attacks is Monday morning between 4 a.m. and 10 a.m.? What, you didn't go on your 10-mile run on Sunday or Saturday, or you had too much cholesterol Sunday night? No, it's emotional. You're scared to go to work. You're fearful. You hate your job. You hate your commute. You hate your boss. You're not making enough money. The emotions are stuck in your heart. That's what's giving you the heart attack. Doesn't matter how much cardiovascular fitness you're doing. Why is it that up to 44% of firefighters die of heart attacks? Because it's the stress of the job. Why is it that 20% of the time you have a heart attack the week before your birthday? Because you're afraid of getting old. Yet Dr. Cooper never addressed that. So in my experience, we're doing the wrong things for our heart. The heart is more than just a stupid pump, and you're not necessarily going to get it healthy at the gym. It's going to take other types of work to get your heart healthy if all those factors are in play. So let's talk about the third aspect here where health and fitness actually merge. So I'm not totally opposed to the fitness world or the gym world at all. I just think we need to be clear of why we're there and what we're doing and how it really correctly affects us. And I'm a proponent of exercise, but I think people need to know the right kinds of exercise to be doing for what their intentions are at the time. So yes, fitness and health do come together. And it's that 15 to 20% in the middle where they come together. For example, if you're obese and you need to lose weight because your heart's being strained, or you've got diabetes, then belonging to a gym, a health center, hiring a trainer is going to be using fitness to get healthy. That will work. So there are times when they come together. There's also times, for example, when you use a health practice that helps your fitness. For example, in the yoga world, we teach flexibility. When you're much more flexible, you become a better athlete or better fit person because your fascia is loosened, your muscles are loosened. So yoga in the health world will make you a better fit person. So they do come together quite a bit. I wish most athletes would do yoga to become more flexible. They wouldn't have so many injuries. I wish most athletes who practice fitness would actually look at health and start to incorporate stretching and yoga. They don't stretch very well. If you watch athletes stretch, they bounce. They don't know how to stretch. They don't understand the principles of healthy stretching or healthy yoga, in my opinion. So they do come together and they merge together, but it's only at 15% or so of the time that health and fitness actually come together and they actually enhance each other. So the mistake I see many people is they believe, because they're taught by the medical doctors and the physical therapists and the trainers and the media, that a fitness practice is going to lead them to a healthier life and a healthier body. Rarely happens. It's not true at all. Occasionally happens. Like I said, I watch the people making exercise videos in the 80s, 90s, and 2000s or have hip replacements, knee replacements, the weightlifters that taught us how to build muscle, or back surgeries, hip replacements, knee replacements, neck surgeries. The models I follow, they're all broken. So I had to create a whole new model to go, that's not working. So fitness, in my experience, while it is rare, can lead you to a healthy body. It should not be the primary tool in your healthy experience. It's a tool for some things, but it will fail you in most places. And in my personal experience, I had to stop fitness in order to heal. I had to do other things because the hardening of my body and the cardio were not healing my body from all the trauma I had experienced. And this is the big mistake I see people all the time make. They believe that if I just work out more, they're going to heal their body. And it's such a lie, but they keep following it. So thank you for joining me today. I've hoped I've shared a wealth of information for you that helps lead you into the next journey here. Be part of the leading edge revolution of new ideas and cutting edge ideas coming forward. Please subscribe to my channel for more information to come. You can sign up for my newsletter on my website, johnburrows.com. I've also got a wonderful book called Return to Nature, The 5 Pillars of Healing. You can either pick it up at my website, johnburrows.com, or pick it up at amazon.com. So thank you for joining me today. May your journey be full of healing and joy and love. Thank you.